Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. Old and new friends, big and small, streamers unite, we welcome all. Get cozy, grab your cocoa, don't be late. Join the fun, it's gonna be great. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. Old and new friends, big and small, streamers unite, we welcome all. Get cozy, grab your cocoa, don't be late. Join the fun, it's gonna be great. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. The holidays are here, so let's unite. Creators from near and far in the limelight. Together we shine, spreading joy and cheer. Streaming side by side, the best time of year. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And welcome to this 13th edition of 12 Creators for Christmas. It's a baker's dozen, so of course, I was lucky enough that one more guest said, oh, I can do that. So let's all put our hands together, clap, clap, do whatever, and welcome Vicki Mac. Welcome,
Hi.
welcome. And thank you so much for helping me close out this series of interviews, maybe?
Can we start off with explaining a baker's dozen, though?
I don't know. We don't have it in Denmark.
I don't think it's a thing here either.
No, but everyone is saying, well, it's a baker's dozen. A smart baker would only sell 11.
And then say it's 12?
Yeah. That's how you maximize your profit. Is saying, no, you got 12. 1, 2. Yeah, that's a common core math. There's 12 there. Just say it with enough conviction. No, but it's the Americans. It's the same. They got weird when I said I never watched The Grinch. Oh, but it's such a good story. I never read a Dr. Seuss book.
What?
Do you know a small, very less known author called Hans Christian Andersen?
Yes, of course. Heidi was that, right?
No, Heidi is from Switzerland or Austria.
No, but Hans Christian Andersen did an iteration of Heidi, I think.
He wrote The Ugly Duckling. He wrote The Princess and the Pea, The Little Mermaid, Hans and Gretel. His birthplace is 25 minutes away from me, so we don't really need Dr. Seuss. We do have a very rich history in children's books, and even though I would never recommend anything from Sweden, they have a woman called Astrid Lindgren who wrote some great children's books as well. So I don't think I've heard about I've heard about Dr. Seuss, but I saw the first Dr. Seuss book maybe I'm 27 years old, but in my 30s, it's the first time I ever, and that's the weird cat hat thing.
Cat in the Hat. I have Dr. Seuss's 50th edition. It's like this beautiful children's book with a hard cover that you slip in it, whatever. My nieces and nephews are not allowed to touch it. It's the same with my Disney stuff. It is not for the kids. It's for me.
Yeah.
Also, this isn't letting me stream to mine, so I don't know if there's something that
I think
I need to.
Yesterday, it was working.
StreamYard just loves to make changes before fixing things.
Yeah, I hate the new. Oh, you got more things that you can. Guests can stream to their own destination, so you should
Yeah.
be able to do it. Isn't
It says
there?
the stream is already live. You cannot edit the schedule.
Did you set it up on your
It's-
channel?
Yeah. An error
Yeah, but
occurred on YouTube. This is usually temporary. So
yeah, but normally I would have that little icon saying you are restreaming it. So, but if you pull down the one you have on, if you set up one on YouTube, it's because it's my feed. If you pull that down and just hit the button, should just be, and you go live.
it's saying it's a YouTube problem, but I'm not really surprised because I've been having so many YouTube problems. Like,
No,
so
it's always
for
nice.
starters, I had the demonetization. What does your print say? It says, "I'm just busy dilly-dallying over here." So I got demonetized for reusing content. Fought that one. Then, like 3 weeks or so, I've been saying to them, we don't have a postal service in South Africa. This is not the 90s. Like, we use email, we use all sorts of other things. We literally don't have a postal service. I can't get that PIN to verify my address. So they demonetize me because I can't verify my address. So then I explained to them we don't have a post office, and they're like, well, could you send it to somebody else's address? And I'm like, then how is that verifying my address? They're like, you could send it to a PO box. I'm like, I don't think you understand. Post office permanently closed. Without a post office, you don't have a PO box.
Sometimes I can't get a PO box. Everyone is saying, "Hey, can't we get your address? Send you stuff." Not that I'm fearing. Zach might show up here. He's a weirdo. He might show up here one night and bang on my door, but probably the rest wouldn't spend $1,000 just to stalk me. I'm not that interesting anyway. I sleep most of the time. I'm not streaming, but so we can't do that. No, you can't do that. I have a business now to run the YouTube thingy so you can get the deductions and stuff like that. That might be able to get a PO box, but it'll cost like $200 a month to get. Absolutely crazy.
But
so
the logic. How does a PO box prove that I have an address? It makes no sense. I don't live in the box. Like, I can go onto Google Maps and take a picture of a building and it will know where I am. Can I not just do that with my house?
Did you hear about the Lego truck that crashed on the highway? Authorities are still trying to piece everything together. That's why Zach will not have my address. So yeah, and most of our post offices are in supermarkets. So, but then I was asking them, couldn't I just get it shipped to like where you get your packages? If you buy online, they'll send it to a supermarket, because you can put what's called poste restance. Because if you don't have an address, I could use that as my address. But why can't I just use it as my address for my business, as long as my business is still registered at a real business address? I sometimes things are stupid. You have to make quiche. I never made a quiche in my life. I am a baker, not a chef. So I don't do food, but it'll probably be great. But Vicki, like every other creator this far, first question is always, why YouTubes?
As opposed to a day job, I guess?
The question is asked, it's for you to answer.
I clearly watch like way too much court because immediately my question is like, can you clarify? Like, let's redirect this.
What if any YouTube? Let me lally you
Okay.
it a bit.
So I used to be in radio. I used to do TV. I started losing the passion. I'd kind of reached like the ceiling of where I wanted to be. And my day job, so during that time of the year when you couldn't work from home, I mean, when you had to work from home, I was still out working at radio and TV, obviously, and it was tough. It was very tough. I was like constantly having to do tests. I think I did like something like 11 tests in those 3 years. And I just felt like I wanted something that I could only do from home because I had been doing that beforehand. And I landed up writing for a true crime YouTube channel through Upwork. And then as time went on, I got more and more involved in that channel and that business. And so now my full-time job is YouTube true crime writing / documentary editing / content strategy, etc. So once I learned about the algorithm and how YouTube works and how to improve it, I was like, I mean, people keep asking me in other chats, like, why don't I start a YouTube channel and talk about our lack of jury system and Oscar Pistorius and all things South African? And I was like, me, might as well. And so I basically just applied what I'd learned in my day job. And apparently I'm not as good at it as I thought, because now I've just been fighting YouTube for the last year.
That's the big problem about doing YouTube is it can be over tomorrow, and you don't know why.
Yeah.
It can be someone you invited on as a guest chose to do something stupid, and they'll say, "Yeah, you had them on as a guest." It can be the restreaming thing that I dual streamed with Valhalla Awaits the Karen Reed trial. He got demonetized for it, even though there's clearly people on the stream, and yes, it's the same content as on my channel, but it's an agreement with me. It's not illegal to dual stream. It's and he was on screen providing commentary as much as I was. He had to fight it. Trial TV Live just got hit because they just put up a clean court feed and then was sitting in chat because they're working behind the scene. But still, nope, that's not good enough.
They probably got done for the same thing as me. They say it's reuse, and then you have to prove that you're not just reusing the content.
Yeah, you need the transformation of the content.
Yeah. And the thing that really got me was when I got that email and the memberships were paused, which I was like, oh, that's terrible. Like, people have literally spent money monthly and they're getting nothing out of it now, and then it gets paused, like it doesn't look good. And then also anything that had gone to advertisers was going to be refunded. And that was like, oh, I don't want that to happen. Like, I'm so down to do things that I love for absolutely zero pay, but also I have pretty extreme ADHD. I would say it's on the level of very most extreme. And so I have that justice sensitivity. I can't remember what it's called, but basically, like, people with ADHD, allegedly still being studied, have this serious, can't even call it a need, it's like a compulsion. If something is unfair, we can't let it go. And then I'm like fighting for the justice. Like, thank you, Special K. I'm like fighting for the justice of, you know, people watch those ads, people paid for those memberships. So now I'm like, I don't even care if that money ever comes through. I'm just doing this for the justice of it. Like, so it's actually ridiculous saying it out loud.
Yeah, but it is it's the thing that you're always one stupid mistake from. It's the same. I got that 70 or 90-day strike because of Sinclair Group, who clearly broke the law. And I talked to YouTube, and 3 different supervisors said, "Yeah, we don't care that they're breaking the law. We'll uphold it." I was carrying around on the Corey Richards case. I couldn't cover anything. If I was doing it again, I'd get a week ban. I couldn't upload for a week, and it was an illegal strike against my channel. I know I'm not. I am the highest super chat earner in Denmark.
That's crazy.
Look at the market. Someone should probably say, okay, he's actually earning money for us. Talking about earning money on super chats. Thank you, Toy. You always on my mind. All those lonely times. Tell me that I have one more set. Give me one more rep and another. Hit the gym. Did chest and tries today, Toy. I have hit the gym. My flat
Oh my
bench,
gosh, Zach.
flat bench is weak, but my incline was actually pretty good. The 30 kilos on each hand. Big Daddy got it yet.
Can we just pause for a second? So before that one, do they know it's Christmas time at all? Please, now that it is nearly 2025, go and read those lyrics and like, how is that song an annual hit? It is so bad. It is, whew, it's so offensive. Also, yes, I can bless the rains. Except that we would like it just to pause for a few days because it's summer here. So wherever you are, send them your way.
Yeah, you can get some of our rain as well, because it has rained constantly almost in all of December. So, and do it in it's the worst Christmas song in the world. It's
so bad.
It's
so offensive.
Well, I don't know. I just hate it. It's one of those, every time it comes on, you change the radio stations. It's I don't know. I really don't like that song. Maybe it's because
controversial opinion. I don't like Mariah Carey's Christmas songs.
I don't think anyone likes it, but it's a tradition. It's one of those earworms that when you hear it, you just, oh, it's Mariah Carey's horrible Christmas song.
I will turn off the radio for that. I would rather hear Boney M all day, every day, than Mariah Carey once in December.
Well, as long as I don't have to see the lead singer of Boney M coked out of his mind.
I don't think I've ever seen Boney M, like, besides on a cover. Like,
sadly,
when
I
you
can't
buy the CD and read the lyrics, that's probably the only time that I've seen Boney M.
Try when we're done, look up some music videos. You will see a man sweating so Jamie, so bad, profusely, and he's not singing. I think it's a German guy. He's the producer behind it, but they needed a front figure because it was disco, so they needed a black guy in front, and so he's just lip syncing, and he's coked out of his mind, and his way of dancing is just, it's like me if I see a snake.
Oh my gosh.
It's wonderful. It's so 80s, it couldn't be more 80s. It's a thing. And thank you, Kelly, for the Hey You pair super sticker.
It's still not restream. I don't know. It doesn't. It's just like you can only restream if you jump through hoops.
I had the problem yesterday where all of a sudden my laptop thought my phone camera was my camera, and I couldn't switch it. I was planning on doing a baking stream. So I had to go in and take away my phone completely from my laptop. So
yeah, mine kept doing that, switching to my phone, and then it would be like in a really awkward position. And make that like clunk, clunk sound constantly. And then eventually I'd turn off the Bluetooth, and that was the only thing that could fix it.
That's the thing. Mine, I turned off the Bluetooth on my phone, on my laptop, and it still kept picking up. So I've been updating all day because on the 25th I'm supposed to do a Christmas stream. So I'm going to build some Legos and something. So I need my other setup. So that's a little bit annoying. The German producer Frank Farian is the guy behind Bonium. Yeah, and I think only one of the women is really singing. So it's two people sings, but it's more. It's an early concept band like Spice Girls was. Story about the. Oh, he also did Milli Vanilli. Well, that's so that he knew how to do that. See you later, Zachariah.
In my early campus radio days, which is like university radio, we used to have a German singles chart, and that music was top notch. Like, absolutely loved it. Could not actually try to get, like, we tried to move it from 5 songs to 10, and we couldn't convince them because the US charts would just overtake it. But like, if you enjoy music you don't hear all the time, German singles chart is so good.
Yeah, I talked to Jamie, my normal co-host, and said, "Oh, Take That was great." She said, "Who? What? You don't know Take That? Take That was the biggest boy band in the world." I know New Kids on the Block. Yeah, right after New Kids on the Block, it was Take That. Everyone listened to them, but they never. I don't think they ever had a number 1 or even a top 10 hit in the US. It's
No, seriously, none.
None of them.
Because you got to remember, like, for us to know, like in South Africa, for us to know some of this music, it would have to be really, really, really good. Because for part of it, and I might be wrong on timelines here, but we were under sanction for a long time. So, what did that say?
He's just.
I've never had Taco Bell, by the way.
Oh, you should then. Oh, it's Iris, my lovely Mexican mod, was the one who said, if you come to the US, steer clear of all these mom and pop shops who say they make Mexican food. The only place to eat authentic Mexican food is at Taco Bell. She's a big proponent of Taco Bell. Says it's more authentic than getting it in Tijuana. And she will kill me for saying that.
Yeah, I bet we probably have more authentic Mexican here than Taco Bell.
It's horrible. It's McDonald's with Mexican food, and I don't know if you have the same. Whenever I go into a Burger King, they are always dirty. McDonald's are always clean. Carl's Jr., whatever you have, they're always clean. Burger King always looks like it's been abandoned for 3 years.
Yeah.
I went into I've only eaten at Taco Bell once, and it was because we're driving the kids and I from Washington back to Delaware in the US, and we just needed some food, and it was the only restaurant there. And I came in, and everything was just a little, you didn't feel like, oh, they just cleaned the table within the last half hour and probably shouldn't go to the toilet and stuff like that. And but I didn't get the Taco Bell stomach, so that was something.
But also, I would love for people to taste South African McDonald's, because I'm sorry, like, McDonald's is not supposed to be healthy. Everywhere I've had it in Europe, in the UK, in Australia, why is it so healthy? Your McDonald's is too healthy. It is supposed to taste like cardboard. You're supposed to question if it ever was chicken. It's supposed to be like proper. The buns are supposed, which by the way we call rolls. The buns are supposed to be like not this fresh private school bun. Like, it's got to be cardboard, terrible stuff. The drinks aren't supposed to be sugar-free. Go crazy. It's McDonald's.
Well, you would love going to Buc-ee's because that was amazing. Everything seemed like it'll give you a heart attack, but it was a great place.
What is squab?
Squab Bob is probably if someone says
Squab.
squab.
Yeah, do they have squab in South Africa? What is that?
Oh, squab. It's just Squab Bob. It's because he's a pigeon. Don't ask me why. Oh, talking about Christmas music. Oh, you'd probably. Do you remember Dini Na Na Na? Saturday night. Na, 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 na.
Yes.
Wickfield. She made a rendition of Wham's Last Christmas that is so 1995 that you will put out your neon bracelets and think, yeah, let's rock out. It's
She was
horrible.
Sexy Eyes as well, right? Those.
Yeah, she had like 2 or 3 hits.
I'm
And,
pretty sure she did Sexy Eyes.
We were so proud of her because she was Danish. That was well, Danish. We don't make many hits, but we had her, and then we got Aqua. They were a little bit bigger.
Oh, come on. Aqua's like that made up for everything.
They played in a disco in my town, and then 2 months later they hit it big. And I wasn't there that night because I was working. I was there the next week. There was a girl called Blue Eyes. She had 2 songs. She was lip syncing, and it kept skipping. So they gave us free beers just to stay for the concert. It was so horrible. I miss those back in the 90s where nightclubs were. We had one. It changed name 3 times. I went in there the first time when I was, I think, 13, maybe 14 years old. We snuck in, and it was horrible. The good thing was, even though it changed name 3 times, it was the same name on the carpet the entire time. It was a wonderful place. There was fights outside every weekend, and it was just, you could drink all night for like 200 Danish. It was wonderful.
Not to make you feel old, but I wasn't even 10 yet in the 90s.
Well, I'm 27, so I'm not old.
Sure. 27 and 13 in the 90s sounds about right. The maths
13.
be mathsing.
There's a lot of hatred going on. I actually think that I was probably 1990 the first time I was. Maybe 91 was the first time I snuck into a nightclub. So, yeah, I'm old.
It's a good thing that my maths really sucks. I was born in 91. I was born in 90.
Sexy Eyes was a 96 hit.
It was on the same like compilation CD that my parents had that had it was Lemon Tree and Blue, I think was like I'm blue. I'm pretty sure
them
those
at a
3 were
music
the first
festival.
3.
I saw them. It's horrible live music. I can just tell you that. That's not what you want to listen to at a festival when it's the main number at midnight. Everyone drunk out of their mind, and I'm blue, I'm blue.
The amount of different iterations of those lyrics, though, like, does anyone actually know what it is? Because we used to say, I'm blue, I'm in need of a guy. I'm blue, dubba dee dubba die. There was another one. Like, we had all different versions and no one agreed on what it actually said.
No, it's like, have you seen that stand-up comedian who misheard lyrics? It's a British guy where, everyone sings a song and that's not what they're saying, and in the end, no one knows what it is. Foster Nelson, thank you. Isle South, Maria Moss, Roasted Bean, Virginia Little, and Sunshine's Nana was gifted membership. Thank you so much, Forrest. Someone. Squab, I'm not asking about politics or religion. You know that's not a part of the channel. Actually, my daughter was supposed to go to South Africa with her school back in. That's a couple of years ago. But they had alternating South Africa and Argentina.
Oh yeah,
but because of
like exchange.
No, yeah, well, no, they did like 2 weeks where they went to see a foreign culture and stuff like that. But because there was a little bit of the farmer thing going on, so they switched it and went
Oh,
to Argentina instead. But
that was so overblown, though. Sorry. I
yeah,
wouldn't
but
cancel a trip on that.
you know how news circles are. It's so
Yeah, so here's the thing, though, right? Like, I won't talk about politics or religion. Couldn't be. First of all, if you're going to ask me about US politics, don't care. Doesn't affect me. I live in a country with my own politics to be concerned about. Could not care less. I am not going to talk about that. But one thing I do care about is I spent 10-ish years in journalism learning how to implement good ethics, how to be an accurate news source, how to be objective, etc. And I stood firm on believing this was a normal thing because in South Africa, our journalists are bound by those ethics. Like, you will get fined if you don't stay within them. You can get taken off air. Like, it's bad. And then I started writing about US crime, and I was like, I get it now. I used to get so angry when people were like, yeah, but you can't trust the media. Now I'm like, oh, you
yeah,
really can't. Like, someone's age might be like, oh, they were 41. And then on another channel, be like, they're 43. I would get fired if I did that. I literally got in trouble for saying was instead of is because that made it factually inaccurate. Like, you don't do that.
that's impressive because when I was in local politics, we had one journalist. Every time he called you, you had to read the newspaper the next day to find out what you said because it wasn't what you said to him. So it's horrible because you then the politician starts putting up all these walls because we don't want to get misrepresented, and they will say, well, you kind of said it if you take this sentence and that sentence and this
Yeah.
sentence, uh, and then the public is sitting there saying, what, why will they never speak open? I did it actually. That's how I started, was uh, covering Danish politics. Massive market, really good idea for a YouTube channel. But nothing much happened. So and we had an election going on. So I said, well, let me try and interview those, not number one and number two on the ballot, but number 7 or 8 or however low they would go. And because no one ever asked them, they only asked the ones over in Copenhagen, what are you going to do? Or whoever is the head honcho. And the funny thing I found out, no matter if it was the Communist Party or the most right-wing party, all of them actually wanted the same thing. It's everyone focused on the same thing. The problem is they can't figure out how to pay for it, and they can't work together because we had last election, I think we had 16 parties running, so everyone has to fight real hard to be special.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems we have, where I think American is better because they have less options, maybe a little too few, but it's easier to say this is what you'll get if you vote for us. But the other ones, it's too much infighting. But no, everyone, the focus, they had 3 points. Everyone, it was the same focus for each party, and that was so wonderful. And I said, like this one, I said, we'll do it. I'll record it. I'll send it to you if you want it to. You can go through everything. If you want parts taken out, you can take it out. Tell me this question. I really, after listening to it, we had one. She said something that was a right winger. It was really bad. I felt, and I could have probably just used it and get a lot of attention, but I thought I was a little too right wing. So I said, shouldn't we take this part out? Because I think you might have said something you didn't really mean. Oh, yeah, by the way. Yeah. That's, again, you can also be a
So
good guy.
we generally wouldn't trim out of context. We trim like a silence or something. But what I did love doing is like, you get in touch with the politics, because you're a journalist, they'll let you come to lunch and they'll like try to when you're over like salespeople essentially, and then when you're recording, you just kind of like asking questions like, yeah, so this and this. And what do you think about the fees must fall movement? And they're like, wait, I wasn't expecting that. Like, you just come out of nowhere. Love doing that. That is like, they cannot think of their politically correct answer when you're like schmoozing, boom. It's like, in interrogations, they'll ask you to say something in a different order, and your brain can't do that. Like, they know the answers they have to give for certain things. If you just come out of the left field, they have no idea.
That's why I actually implemented when I was running. I said, if you're getting a question where you know it's the gotcha question, cell phones are really unreliable. I'll call you back in 5 minutes.
That's I'm not gonna. I'm doing it in person. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be recording it.
Yeah, but we had a lot of those where they will call us on the phone and do an interview. Said, instead of trying to explain your way out, because you'll end up saying something stupid and they'll cut it the way they like it. Always say, oh, I really want to talk to you. I'm just picking up my kids. I'm driving. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. And if you don't know 100% what our position, call me. I'll tell you this is, but so many just want to be on or in the news. So they'll say whatever. And that's so stupid. And yeah, with the Depp Heard, the funny thing is there's a case going right now with Blake Lively, and I can't remember the man's name. And he obtained some of Depp's team. I'll probably read that on Christmas Day because it's quite a long read. But
he did.
Yeah, I believe he obtained. Yeah, so they're going to be what I've read so far. If she can prove it, they're going to be on the bad team this time.
Just give me 1 sec. I just want to sort a cat out. Cheesecake, love baked, hate frozen.
Well, better end the stream than if it's a cheesecake lover. That's not allowed on this channel. American politics affects the entire world. Unfortunately, okay, that's all I have for today. Well, Danish politics does the same. Because all of us are members of EU and the NATO and the UN. And so just see, you want to buy an island from us right now. Oh, a chunky cat.
Look, fair enough about that. But like, I love my country so much, but we do have a lot going on a lot of the time. And so sometimes we just have to decide what is in our mental capacity and what is not. And it's something I had to learn with news. You can't be 100% passionate about everything. So yes, it does affect us. Also, I know that our president has made some big, bold moves that the rest of the world is not necessarily on board with, to do with other things going on in the world. So I trust him with that. And I don't have the capacity.
No, and again, yes, of course, as a person in one of the smallest nations in the world, of course, everyone else is we take stock of what's going on in the world. But in the end, I am a little more concerned that my grandson gets a decent school, or that we have. I'm worrying a little bit more about that than I'm really into what's going on in Malaysia. And of course, I'll keep an eye on the news. But again, you have that. The biggest problem I see with news and with journalism is 24-hour news stations, because they have to invent, and they have, especially now where we are becoming the place people are turning into when they get up in the morning. They'll put us on with the coffee, go vacuum, clean the house, do whatever, they'll have a YouTuber talking in the background about something stupid instead of turning on CNN. So they have to constantly get more and more blood on the screen so they can sell more news. And
If it bleeds, it leads.
exactly. And that's the problem is right now they don't bleed anywhere, so they need something else to bleed. And that I don't like that. How much for Greenland? We pay them, I think, 3 billion a year. So if you can take up some of that, I don't mind. Never been there, doesn't care much for it. It's just a lot of empty space and a few people. So
I think also something that people need to keep in mind is like when I was actively cats are evil. Does she look evil? No, she really is. She will, if we die, she will eat us first.
yeah.
Something I had to learn is, you know, journalists debrief. They have psychological help. I had to work on secondary trauma. You can't be taking that stuff in all day without that help. You can't be internalizing absolutely everything. It's not healthy. So now I basically limit my like intense stuff to court trials or whatever I'm watching. And then the rest of the time, I'm probably on TikTok. My TikTok is not at all political. It's cats, it's funny stuff, it's people slipping on ice. And I don't pay attention to the news at all. If I need to know, someone will tell me. That's it.
Yeah, I'm too old to tickety talk, so I'll do it on the Twitch side instead, and I'll call a politician an a-hole. So
But there's
that's a good
Grandma
thing.
Dorian on TikTok, and she's like 97, I think.
My daughter, when I got Snapchat, she said, "You're too old to have that." So
Oh no, Snapchat's gross.
I thought when I got it, because I heard all about you'll get all the titlets, pics, and all of that. Still haven't got any. That's
No, but they are tracking your every move.
so
Snapchat freaks me out. Like I would sooner ban Snapchat than TikTok any day.
Have you ever read the TOS on Facebook?
Hold on a sec.
Yep.
Hello?
Maybe I don't know. Go check if someone's in your house you don't know.
Nope. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't. Yeah. Anyway.
So if you're just yanked out off of the screen, what's the 911 in South Africa?
10111, like that. But I live in a security estate, so it's fine.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
And there's like security in security.
Brandon can get your dog if you need one.
Oh no, I'm good, thanks. My mom has a puppy, and I remember now why I'm a cat person, because
yeah, you know why I got the Snapchat, and it didn't work. That's also Snapchat was leaked. But again, I love that everyone is oh, I'm so afraid that. Have you ever had one of these near you? Have you noticed when?
Oh, I'm not worried about that stuff at all. I'm not worried about that. Like
Google tracks everything.
Yeah, but just look into like Snapchat and how can I word this in a way that isn't going to land you in trouble? Middle school age phone use.
Well, when my daughter was in the 6th grade,
you guys thinking I'm going to be murdered on?
They actually had a girl who went around because it was fun. She got her first mobile phone and just went around in the changing room at school. So that ended up with a little hello from the police, where they had to tell her parents, because the parents said, "Why do you care? They're just young." They were like 12, 13 years old, and the police had to tell them, "Do you know it's actually kiddie stuff to share pictures of minors?" It doesn't matter, it's her friends. She sent it to the boys in the class.
Here you'd get done for revenge.
Yeah, but this again, I'm old, so it's a few years back. So they didn't really have that revenge corn and all of that rules going, but still, that you have to tell the parents, maybe tell your kid not to photograph her friend's nude. Could be a good idea. I don't understand why. Puppies and indoor bathrooms don't go together. I only use indoor bathrooms. So
I'm confused. There are
well, there's outhouses, but we stopped using them at least 2 or 3 years ago. We got plumbing and stuff like that.
I feel like I'm like, sorry, Americans. I feel like I'm hearing this from like an American perspective. Like, I feel like I would ask someone South African if there's like lions and elephants walking around. Are there genuinely places in the world still that have outhouses?
Of course, in China, you just do it on the street. Do it in the sewer. It's no problem. India really known for it. Don't they? In Sweden, I know if you have, it's very modern for the people over on Zealand to own a little hut in the woods up in Sweden. They'll have like an outdoor. So because there's no plumbing, so you do have it those places, but
so you could have a long drop, but you just put it in your house.
I think the problem is she meant something else.
You live in South Africa and you're asking US about outhouses. Well, listen, here's something else that we have learned is not something that's reached America yet, that we've had here for like probably since the beginning of internet. We do our banking online. We don't have checks. Checks have not existed for about more than 10 years. I don't even know how to write a check because they are not accepted.
I'm way older than you. I got my first credit card when I turned 18. That's when you could get them back in the day. I never ever had a check. Never in my life. I've never heard about any. Well, my parents had a checkbook for their business, so they'll get the talents, so they knew what to write in the ledgers. But I've been given a check once. No, I used to get checks when I was a newspaper boy. You got your payment was on checks, and then you had to deposit it in the bank. But no, everything has been electronic here since.
Yeah.
Since I started as an apprentice, every paycheck I've gotten since then is. We actually have a law that says everyone must have what's called an easy account that the government pays. So if you get childcare, pensions, you have one account that they'll use, or if you have a business, you have one account that they must be connected to your business. So because then they can surveil the amount of money you have in. You just had to reorder checks.
I don't understand. Like, so if you, this is what I get really confused about when I'm watching court, which is obviously mostly US courts. People take their rent to the rental office. And some people withdraw their rent and pay it in cash. And then have no proof that they've done this. First of all, why do I need to go to a rental office to pay my rent? I'm going to have a debit order that's going to go off on the 1st of every month or the 31st of every month. And it's going to clear, and I'm going to have proof, and they're going to have proof. And I don't have to drive anywhere. If I leave the house once a week, that's a lot. We don't have to do anything outside of the house.
I think it's the same as we always talk about with the Wardia and stuff. We don't have Wardia in Denmark because if you tell me you're a doctor, I believe you're a doctor. And I'm too stupid to know what the difference is between the different schools that you can be a doctor from. So I just trust you know what you're talking about. But we are a trust-based society. We trust the government. All of the Americans are the ones who didn't trust the government that went over there. So their society is, we don't trust banks. We don't trust anyone. I think that's probably where it comes from. Murderous paraplegic athletes. Is he getting out now?
He's out. He's got a
he is
new
out.
girlfriend that looks like Reva.
Well, we have a Danish rom-com where there's a girl who first she's with a boy called Sonny, and then she's with a girl called with a boy called Johnny. So she just mixes it up. So both of them are Sonny, and then she meets a new guy. He's an Italian, and is named Andrea because you can be called Andrea as a boy in Italy. And she just keeps calling him Sonny because she accidentally slipped up the first time they had sex. So it's kind of
so she just
same.
names everyone up.
Yeah, it's easier to remember. So get a girlfriend that looks like your old girlfriend. That's way easier. Just don't get all the skeletons with her.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
Dave.
most of the time, and I'm saying most because it's not all the time, but with our parole, it's quite different in that the family of the victim carries more weight in general. Obviously, because of our history, etc. And also we don't have juries. And it would be unconstitutional for us to have a jury. So
Yeah, but that's what U.S. trial has affected you the most. Katie's always asking the good question. I'm getting away from all the important questions for a law tuber.
I think one that comes to mind, the one I want to say is, like, I want to say it, but I don't want to start a heated debate. So I'm going to say it and then I'm going to leave it. I think from outside of the US, the Jennifer Crumbley trial blows my mind. And I think from here, a place that also has kids have access to the same thing, but it's different. The answers are so simple that it's really difficult and enraging to watch things like that. And it's difficult to hear perspectives on it because it's like, I just want to, it's really hard. But the other one that comes to mind, that was maybe just because I was going to get married soon, like we had started planning the wedding when this happened, was the lady in the golf cart, the couple in the golf cart, and the lady who was that too much.
How do the judges get their positions appointed or elected?
They're appointed, and we have a Chapter 9 institution, so the Constitutional Court and our public protector, they're separate. They're separate from the government. They will govern the government. It has to be separated because of the history again, and our Constitution is one of the most rock solid in the world. So if things don't go the way that you feel they should in court, in whatever court, it can be labor, it can be whatever, you can go to Constitutional Court. And in general, like, I have only good things to say. There's obviously going to be cases here and there. And trust me, even our ex-president had a full and thorough hearing. It was interesting and all broadcast.
Oh, you broadcast stuff like that because we can't. No court, no matter if it's Supreme Court rulings or we just had during the disease. I'm still not sure we can talk about. Our prime minister, with a stroke of a pen, said no more minks in Denmark. So she just went out and made the police unalive all of and we had a big for the fur industry, big population of minks, or of course at farmers, and that's illegal because that's a seizing of our property without a legal measure, and it went really bad, and they wanted to put her in front of a like a national court case or whatever, I don't know how you pronounce, but like where you have to stand at the highest
What's the
level.
word? I think a lot of it's quite close to Afrikaans, so I might be able to.
Rigsret. It's Rat
like
is
local.
It's Ris is the country. It's the realm.
Okay, so it would be regional.
Yeah, it's a leftover from when it's the monarchy, but yeah, it's an impeachment like they have in the U.S., but it's in a separate court system. It's not politicians sitting there trying to figure out what to do, but it turned absolutely crazy. But even that case, we wouldn't be able to hear the testimony. We'll only had if a journalist was in the court, listened to it, and wrote it down, and that's really infuriating because I think democracy needs someone to clean the floors when someone takes a crap in the corner, and the public needs to know about it.
So two things. One, during the Oscar Pistorius trial, they had the journalists' lawyers come and talk to the judge about what is fair and accurate and what is okay to not show surrounding the autopsy. So if she had have just said no, then that would have been a constitutional problem. Second, our courts and everything, basically our media is governed by news that is accurate, comment that is fair, programming that is not harmful to children, does not amount to hate speech, violence, or explicit eggs. And as long as you're within that, it's okay. But the journalist's job is not to take that out, it's to make it more digestible. So if, for example, someone had a horrific car accident, we're still going to receive the unedited version of whatever it is. It's not our job to change what happened or what is shown. It's just to take out the gore so that your secondary trauma isn't as bad. Yes. Also, because you don't want the family member to find out on front page news. You never show number plates. You never give personal details. None of that.
In Denmark, they'll normally say there's been a big accident on this and this highway, and a family or someone passed away. The family haven't been notified, so we won't do anything. So they won't give you even the age or the genders most of the time until the family has been notified.
Oh, so, yeah. That's the same here. The family needs to know.
Yeah. Pretty sure you can use the C word. The C word has actually, if it's not the disease, but the other C word, the See You Next Tuesday, has actually been put on the YouTube's ban list, which is a big problem for Aussies and Irish people, because that's a pretty big part of their vernacular.
What do you think about Elon Musk? Hate him. US can keep him. Sorry, not sorry.
I want a Cybertruck.
You're welcome to it. It's going to be recalled every single year.
I don't care. It's so ugly. I want it. I love ugly cars. I wouldn't. Well, of course, if I could steal enough money to buy a Ferrari, I'll do it. I'm too fat and too old to get into one, but most guys who own a Ferrari is that. But I just love ugly cars. You're probably too young. Yeah, you are too young to remember there was a car called a Fiat Multipla. It was the most...
Oh, yes, a little tiny thing.
No, it was actually... Oh, no. Oh, let me... Well, maybe, I don't know. In Danish terms, it was a big one. But it had a bump on the front. Oh, it's so ugly. I love this car.
We had a Fiat...
The little one is the Panda.
We had not the Panda. It was older than that. Also started with the P.
Look at this beauty.
Oh, I remember this thing. So ugly. Also that Chrysler. It looked like a cockroach.
Oh yeah, what's the Chrysler one? That was so. What's the? Yeah, that's a car you shouldn't be allowed to drive anywhere. But this car, and the worst part of it, I took one for a test drive. It's the most comfortable car I ever driven. The windows are so big, you can see everything. It's really easy to get your kids into the back seat. There's tons of room, but I don't know why I love ugly cars, and that duckbill thing with the eyes up here. It's I wish they still made that car. I would
Also,
have it.
not to mention, Mr. Elon Musk is so proud to be South African. First of all, I think he was just born here. I don't think he even lived here, or just his parents are from here. We don't even have electric charging stations here yet. Like, we've just ended this year 10 years of not having electricity consistently for like, it's been 10 years that we've had load shedding, which means the power goes off for 2 hours to 3 hours every day, sometimes multiple times a day. If he's so proudly South African, why doesn't he help out with the electricity?
It couldn't be that hard to get a. Well, we just actually last week had a big problem because we have now turned to so much renewable energy that we didn't have enough energy when the wind's blowing.
Australia had that problem.
Yeah, we have too much wind when the wind is blowing, and we don't have enough. So they were actually talking about, well, maybe we should ration it. At the same time, they're saying, oh, by the way, every natural gas furnace must be out of houses, I believe, by 2035 or something like that. And then you only have electrical heat exchanging air pumps that you really can use in most houses. So yeah, probably have to figure out what to do about that one before we change everything out. That's something. Yeah.
I don't like we are very good on, in general, we're very good about being eco-friendly and whatnot, but like I strongly stand by, like, people do not care about consumption. Like, you can't ask people who are struggling to get a loaf of bread to care about like a footprint, like you can't ask them to care about the environment when it's choosing food or no food. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, our
Yeah, but
priorities are a bit
the
different.
thing. That's the thing. We always talk about, oh, you're very Eurocentric in the way you view history and all of that. Yeah, but so are the, oh, we have to save the planet. I'm pretty sure the kids we sang about in Do They Know It's Christmas Time at All still would really like a working well more than they want a Tesla. I'm pretty sure that's
Right?
first on that, and then they really don't care how a fat European is feeling about, oh, should I put up an LED light, because they are still living in a mud hut, mud clean. What, I don't know what it's called, where you build the walls of mud, not bricks. And
It's like, but it's also like people who come here on like missions to, like, if you want to understand why we find it really offensive that people travel from the US to be a missionary, you need to go and read up about like the early days of South Africa and how that all played out. And also, like, our church and state are still tied. So we don't really need more preaching from other countries. It would be so much better to just help with education, food, like basic Maslow's hierarchy, start at the bottom. Because people traveling here to spread the word was like the beginning of the problems. Like,
yeah, and again, that's weird that you don't have a separation of church and state.
yeah.
says the
There,
man
look, there is to a
who
degree, because remember we have the Constitutional Court, so unconstitutional decisions can't be made. Like, things have to go through a lot of steps. We can't just table laws and they go through. It has to go through Parliament. It has to go, like, everything is up to a load of different levels before it can get there. So it's not just like they can say, I don't even know if this is true, but the church believes in stoning people, so now we'll have the death sentence. They can't just do that. That's got to go first, like, got to go to Parliament. They're all going to discuss it. It's going to go to the people. Everyone's going to discuss it. And then it's going to go to constitutional courts, and it's going to be discussed by, like, is it constitutional? Why is it not? So it's yes, we have 12 official languages and 13 if you count sign language.
That's also one of those things where. But do you do it like in Switzerland, where you have one main language and then the cantons?
Our main language would be English.
Yeah, that's the official. So everyone knows English, and then you have, because that's the thing I don't get about. Well, I don't get why people in Canada believe they're French. It's horrible enough. I've heard in Canada, but that you have to have that everything must be written in both languages. That's such a weird thing. That's talk about ruining everything. It's the same with the school system. Yeah, you're forced to do. It's such an ancient way of thinking that, especially with ChatGPT and all of that and AI.
Some of these questions are really hard to answer without explaining, like, a lot of apartheid. But basically, during apartheid, everybody was forced to do school in Afrikaans. And so there's so many layers. And in general, most signs will be in English unless you're in, like, an Afrikaans area, and then it would be in Afrikaans. But it's not as, like, if you were to visit and you were to speak to someone in English, they'd understand you. Or there's no, like, they're not going to be like the French and be like, oh, you didn't say hello in one of our languages. Like, everyone will be friendly. Everyone will still speak to you. And they're not, like, you could probably get by pretty easily from a lot of European countries because of Afrikaans. And then,
especially
like,
people from
Portuguese.
Holland. Holland is very, very close to Portuguese. Oh, to Afrikaans.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, and it's
minimizing South Africa's right. What do you mean? Robin Hood, I think the farmers it's such a tricky layered thing to do, to understand, but to put it simply, the amount, at least 41 people are murdered a day, and the percentage of those that are farmers is small.
You hear that, Chicago? You are not the worst place on the planet. And Brandon,
that's like,
that's a lot. Denmark, but it's Rand, I think. I don't speak French that well anymore. Isn't pannenkoeken just a pannenkoeken?
Pannenkoeken. Is it a pancake?
Yeah.
That would be a pannenkoek. There's no ken at the end, I think.
41 in South Africa a day.
Yeah, I might be a bit outdated on that. Give me one sec.
Brandon, I saw you were in Joe's chat.
69.
Oh, so you were underselling. That's
yeah. But it's
And it's
down. This reduction from 73. So there was a big spike during those 4 years, you know? Those.
yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy, so many. But that's why again, electric cars probably not the first problem you have to fix on the agenda.
Yeah.
And Brandon, yeah, 10 hours ago you were in Joe Good Logic, so you were probably a little tired. But it's been an hour and 10 minutes. That's where I normally let you have the floor to grift a little about your channel. Tell everyone about yourself, because I only asked for an hour of your time. Sorry. So please tell people a little bit about yourself, what to expect if they go over, which they should do, and subscribe to your channel.
It's a bit of a funny grift because I'm currently trying to figure out how to get post to South Africa. But in general, I mostly do a variety of courts. I'm not doing live trials. I'll rather watch like a little bit of Judge Simpson, a little bit of Judge Fleischer, a little bit of divorce court, because I like divorce court for some reason. And I just kind of hop around. I have ADHD and I take the highest dosage that I can, and it's still not enough. So if scattered thoughts and talkativeness is not your thing, then I'm probably not your thing. If you like 75 different conversations within one, you'll enjoy it. And also, everyone in chat is openly themselves and weird, and we're cool with that. We like being weird. We're a lot of middle children. Yay, thank you.
Yeah, and that's but he definitely reached I banned half his chat before his wife busted in to tell him. Oh, he gave you a wrench? Yeah, I saw you with a wrench. Never give Brandon a wrench. He pocket bans everyone. Not on purpose, but other than that, he's a good guy. I'm about to grift something, and then I'm never diagnosed with anything, but I'll maybe it's just because I'm really good at playing Trivial Pursuit. I have too much knowledge about nothing.
So I used to, but now I feel like because I have Google and ChatGPT, I literally just my brain sees no value in retaining things, so I don't remember anything that I read.
My big problem is I know stupid stuff that I don't need. Because
yeah. Like,
why do I need to know something about a stupid battle in Denmark in sometimes in the Viking ages? I don't need that knowledge. I can't remember my kids' social security numbers. I have no I can't even remember what day my grandson was born, and he's my first grandson. I should be able to remember that. But
I can remember my first phone number, but I can't remember literally right now. I have no idea where my keys are. Can't even tell you what I had for breakfast. Don't know.
Well, I have oatmeal because I have that every morning. So I got that one. Chats wants to play Trivial Pursuit against you. Well, if you can do it online, I am game.
You can actually. We did it for a work thing.
Oh. Well, if it's free or cheap, let's look at it, because I will be doing the 25th. I will do the Christmas shindig. I will probably get going at around 9:30. I haven't set it up yet. It depends a little bit how late I get to bed tomorrow, because today in Denmark is what we call Little Christmas Eve. That's when you make sure that the house gnome is happy so he doesn't burn down your house. Tomorrow is Christmas. Yeah, we have house gnomes.
Everyone is that like the gonk? Is that a real word? I don't know where my brain got that from. I don't even know if that's offensive.
It's one of those fellas. It's the Nisser.
Yes, we call those gonks, I think.
Yeah, but
Like GONK, gonk.
they live in the attic, and back in the day when you lived on a farm, they'll burn down the farm or kill your cattle if you didn't make them happy. Yeah, I don't know why they are good people. It's Americans who ruined everything. So you make sure he's happy tonight, then you'll get presents tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be going to my daughter's for her Christmas. I don't know when I'm being back. I'm coming back, so I'm probably not going to do anything online tomorrow. Maybe be a guest on a show. So the 25th, I'll be doing something. I'll build some Lego. I'll hang out and chat. Maybe I'll put up a link so you can call in, just so you have a place to hang out. Because the 25th is a nothing day. It's just the first day of Christmas in Denmark. We don't do anything other than make sure that our filled bellies get a little bit smaller, and I can spend some time with you.
So Christmas is 24th for you?
Yeah, tomorrow is Christmas. We have it Christmas Eve, not Christmas Day.
Okay, that's cool. Didn't know that.
That's because, as you all know, Jesus was born at night. He wasn't born around supper time the next morning. It's really hard to have a star lighting up in the middle of the day. So everyone should do it like we do, because we do it the right way.
Well, some people here do Christmas Eve, but for us, that was you generally opened your present so that you could wear your new clothes to church.
Do the gonks steal socks from the sock drawer?
If anybody knows where I got that word from, like if it's even a real thing, I don't even know if it's a real thing. My brain literally just said gonk, and my gonk has a Dr. Seuss hat from Cat in the Hat. So I don't even know. It could just be a completely made up word.
Yeah, in Sweden, their tomter, at us, it's nisser. I think most Brits would call them elves. It's but they used to be really, really bad. If you didn't be nice to them, they'll kill your cattle, burn your crops, and burn your house. Then they became Santa's helpers later. So it's don't steal Jamie's topic for Bible on a Budget. Jamie will be here today at noon doing Badass on a Budget, talking about when Christ visited the temple and hung out with prostitutes. It's in the spirit of Christmas, just to show that there's so many people talking trash online right now. He was one of those who. So look out for it at Jamie's channel.
Before I forget, our version would be the Tokolosh. So Tokoloshe. That would be our version of the thing that like causes chaos, and you put your bed on bricks, and yeah. No, it's not a gnome. Like it is a gnome, but I'm telling you, it's a gonk.
Yeah, but it's whoever finds the gonk in the Danish fruit. We don't eat fruitcakes. We eat risalemang. That's rice porridge that's back in the day. You would make a big bowl of rice porridge on the 23rd, and then on the 24th you would put whipped cream in it and vanilla sugar and almonds.
We have a version of that. Yeah, we have a version of that. Rice pudding.
And, that's our dessert for Christmas Eve. And you have one whole almond in it, and the one who finds that one wins a prize. It's just to make sure everyone eats everything. So it's how do you make a gnome happy? You give him a bowl of porridge. That's how you do it. It's like when you leave. We don't leave out things for Santa Claus, because that's he's just running while you're eating. He puts the presents under the Christmas tree. Oh, he left them there a couple of days before. So Bible study and beauty, yes. Jamie does Bible study. You know that, Brandon. She has a long running series of Bible on a Budget. But I was about to sign off, and then we got sidetracked again. Thank you so much for ending this series with me, and have a wonderful happiness Christmas and whatever it is. And I hope you get all you're wishing for. A little bit of sunshine now. It is summer where you're at, and the rest of you, come back the 25th. I'll do something. You know me. I don't know where I'm going, but most of the time we end up where we're supposed to be. So, hasta la taco, and Merry Christmas to y'all. Even though I get to say it to you all again on Christmas Day for you. Tomorrow, Pernilla, Fedorowski, Mads, and I will have our Christmas. So I hope you get the presents you're looking for. No socks for Christmas, even those crocheted
I love socks.
scratchy ones. The scratchy ones you always got from your grandma. No, thank you.
Not scratchy ones, but
yeah.
See you in the new year.
Nice. Bye.
What exhibit are you referring to? I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor. All right. 100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.